So how insane is Final Fantasy? How broken is this set? And how... Wait, I'm facing the wrong way. Welcome back, everyone. This is Insanity. This is Final Fantasy. And if you thought this product was calming down, if you thought the sales were going to level out, well, I got a few cards to show you today. These cards are absolutely insane in value, and players are buying them. Stay tuned. Check this out. There is playability in Final Fantasy. There is also collectability in Final Fantasy. There is something for everyone, and that's why this set continues to sell. Welcome back, everyone. MTG Moxman here. Thanks again for hanging out with me on the channel today. Now, Final Fantasy, you would think the collector boxes and everything was kind of calming down at this point. We're a few weeks in. You know, Edge of Eternity's around the corner, looking like it's going to be a just smashing good set. But Final Fantasy refuses to go to the back seat. It's called Shotgun, and it's sticking around. Now, what I mean by that is not only are players diving into the singles market just head first, assuming the water is safe at the bottom, there's no rocks you're going to hit, we also have all kinds of collectible cards inside this set that, although they're thousands of dollars in some cases, they continue to sell, and they're selling at a pretty brisk rate, which makes me just kind of go, wow, players really like what they're seeing. And of course, this is not just fans of Magic the Gathering. Final Fantasy, people who just love the actual product line, the story, the history, the IP itself, they've been buying this stuff, and they're buying it a lot. So take a look at a few of these cards. We have a lot to talk about, but let's start with a few of the most expensive cards in this game that are selling right now. I know, some of you thought that maybe I'd skip these types of cards just because they're not going to make a real game impact. But let's face it, the Serialized series from this set of the Traveling Chocobo is just insane, okay? People are hunting these things down. This is a mini version of the One Ring, and everyone's trying to get their hands on it. This is the ultimate status symbol from this set. And let's face it, 77 worldwide is kind of a hard thing to come across, and people are cracking things like Willy Wonka, trying to get their hands on it. So yes, do they sell? Absolutely. We know there's people out there. There's all kinds of Reddit boards dedicated to what's going on with this card. Is the market going to calm down? Well, that's to be seen later on, but I think this card will continue in our lifetime to be a status symbol of what exactly was represented with the IP of Final Fantasy and what players in the player side who could play the game as well as the collectible side to find ultra rare cards could hunt for. Now, of course, we can't go on without mentioning the other versions. Here is the Neon Pink. This is selling a few copies every week. That's insane to think at $3,000-$4,000 it's selling, but it absolutely is. And of course, we could go on to the Neon Pink Blue. And of course, these all kind of harken back to what we saw with Kamigawa Neon Dynasty with all the Neon Ink cards as well for, where is it, Hitasagu? That card, right? The card itself was okay actually at the time. The Neon Inks still hold some value like the Transformer Shattered Glass, but these ones seem to have hit the next level. They seem to be just at a higher level point for players to say, I need this card. There are players trying to get one of each. A serialized version plus all the neons. And of course, if you can afford a serialized, you can definitely go hunting down each of the different neon cards just to have the status of saying, I've got them all. Now, I want to finish off here with the Traveling Chocobo, and that is going to be the Neon Ink Yellow, which of course is the most inexpensive you can buy, but it's still selling copies every day. Now that we've got this part out of the way, these are just 5 insane cards that players are collecting. They want to get one of each, and they're willing to spend literally thousands of dollars to get them, just like a reserve list player wants a set of Power 9. There are these Traveling Chocobos that people are going to hunt down one by one until they've got them all. I feel like I'm making a Pokemon phrase right now. But at the same point, this is a multi-tiered set. There are layers inside this onion that as you peel it back, maybe this part of the collectability is not for you. Maybe the IP side of things, the story, the history, this is not going to be the card you're after. Maybe you want a card that's awesome and looks cool. Well, you're probably jumping over to the Surge foils. And here, this is the Fabled Soldier. Now, when you're looking at this Universes Beyond card, the Surge foil is $849. I understand, it's a crazy price to pay for this card. But the regular version is expensive too, and if you happen to crack one of these in a box, like we did on my live stream, this is an insane card. So is it selling? Well, it absolutely is selling. And it's selling a lot of copies. You can see here, there are people paying up to $3,000 or $4,000 a day. Sometimes as much as $9,000 a day just in this one particular card. To see that much market movement, we're talking Moxen at this level, Beta Moxen. That's how much this set means to certain people. The collectible side of this, as well as the playability, are intersecting at levels we have not seen before. I think the closest one would be Lord of the Rings with the Nazgul and stuff. Now, if we jump over here and you look at the next one here, this is Cloud, right? If you look at Cloud Surge Foil, $439.50. It's been trending down after its peak at around the 18th of June. But does that mean just because it's lost value, a monthly change of minus 150, that it's not selling? Well, you'd be making a mistake. You'd be thinking, nah, this one's done. It's going to keep falling. It's not going to keep falling. As it's falling, it is actually still selling. Could it go lower? Sure it can, but it could also recover and go back up. Remember, the boxes will dry up. Players are buying these. And there are collectors out there who want to get their hands on this card because this card actually has a lot of playability. It works well. Put it with like the Buster Sword and stuff, and you're going to have a good time. And the last card that I think we need to talk about today, the last one, is going to be Yuna. Hope of Spirit, right? Now you look at this when you say $357 US for this Surge Foil. Now when you look at the card and you see the playability, you're like, okay, it's being played, it's being bought, isn't it? Isn't it, Moxman? You're going to show us? Yes, I am. When you look at this, you can see on the 25th, 5-6 sales is still, $1,400-$1,500. On the 24th, we got a couple sales. On the 23rd, we've got a few $1,000s in sales. And this is one of the lower end. This isn't even VV Vivi guy. This is not that one. This is going for like $100 and something bucks. There's tons of cards in this set that are still doing anywhere between $50 to $100. These are just the top tier insanity cards that if you get them, you made some money. There's a market for them that want to buy the card. So where does that leave us with this amazing set? How are players going to decide when it's time to stop? When is it time to move on? I'll tell you right now, the market hasn't decided that yet. I think it is just incredibly awesome that we have a fan base this loyal to the IP, this fanatical that we are still cracking collector boxes. Even though those boxes are coming in like $2,000, we're going to open them anyway. And I know there are people out there, they've emailed. I got my box for like $500. I'm not opening it. I got my box for $650. I'm not opening it. I can't afford to. It's just worth too much money, which means there'll be a few people hanging in there. And that few will become a few more. And that few will become a few more, and the prices will adjust on so many of these cards that you will see the market shift sooner rather than later. Are we going to see everyone drop off and just move right on to Edge of Eternities? I'm not sure about yet. But Final Fantasy is by no means done. And when we go to the top 10 this Saturday, and I start counting those cards late into the night to see what comes up to let you guys know what the hottest selling cards are, well, I'm pretty sure we all know it's going to be a large selection of Final Fantasy, if not every single card being Final Fantasy. Now think about all the other cards in this set, all the other legendaries, all the other amazing cards. Some of them expensive, some not, but so many cards from this set are playable that it makes you realize that some of these card prices are still going to adjust. And there's a lot of people hedging their bets on that. There's a lot of speculators out there, a lot of collectors picking up cards when they're cheap and holding on because they didn't buy a box, so they're hunting for singles and getting as many as they can while the prices are low. Where do you fall? Where are you on that bracket of players looking at these cards and looking at this particular segment of the market, which is Final Fantasy? Are you comparing it to Lord of the Rings? Are you going back to maybe Fallout and saying, wow, like there's some missed opportunities here? The good news is there's always another opportunity. You may have missed this one, but there's always something else coming around the bend. Edge of Eternities is our next one coming up big. And then, of course, Spider-Man, which we'll talk about in the next week or so. Thanks again for hanging out. Thanks for being here on my channel. And congratulations, Final Fantasy. You're insane, and you're on a whole different level. Guys, I'll see you tomorrow. Shop smart, shop S-Mart. Have a great day. Hang in there. I just got to drink some water. That was me crinkling a water bottle. We're here at the end. Can you believe it? This is where we get to thank our patrons, the supporters of the channel. This is where we get to talk about how amazing it is to have such a loyal fan base, Team Moxman cheering me on here as we create each and every day new videos. And it's because of those patrons and YouTube membership members that it's made possible. So thanks again, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. I'm not sure what I was expecting. I don't know. But this ramble jamble is dedicated to me not knowing. Sorry, it's really hot and really hot lights up here. Air conditioning doesn't reach that well on the second floor. Now, Final Fantasy. In my dreams, I would not have guessed. On a lottery ticket, I wouldn't have guessed that it was going to do what it's doing. So many people will be caught up with a particular single or a card combination that can be utilized in Modern, Standard, Commander. But when you start looking, and it took me, 4.5 hours. When you start recording all the little sales numbers in between all the different versions of the cards, from Surge Foils, Special Edition Final Fantasies, all the little things that we can look at from this set. And you see the sheer amount of money moving through. On a top 10 video, I could say, we spent $250,000. 500,000. It's insane. We've had reserve list sales that high as well, don't get me wrong, but it's insane for a new set to really just be chugging along like that. When I added up all the sub sales, you see $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 per card moving, and you look at all the different cards in the set and all the different variants and variations, it could be like $1 million a week in the secondary market for singles. And that's what I can record. That's not everywhere in the world. That's just one guy. The one-man show, calling in favors once in a while to see this all happen. And that blows my mind. I just wouldn't have expected this much. It is Final Fantasy, kudos to you. Insane. Anyway, I gotta go do things. I'll leave you kids to pack up. You got this? All right. See you soon. Don't forget to turn the lights out. And you could mop the floor. That'd be great.